Big burp. Big burp. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Are we so grumbly this morning? Are we so grumbly? Yeah. Yeah. Morning, Sloth. Are we so grumbly in our tumblies? Yeah. How's everyone doing this morning? Hey, Roxy. Okay. Good morning. Hey, hey. Yep. It's very bright. Okay. There you go. There you go. It's very bright. I know it's very bright. I know. I know. Oh, it's good to wait if you're a teenager, definitely. Did you see my post in the FNF chat? I didn't. I haven't checked any posts this morning because we have been cluster feeding, but I will look after this. I've been trying to keep up with the chats, but it is difficult with a little cluster feedy girl. But I will look after this. Yeah. We'll look after. We'll look after. Let's make coffee. This thing likes to spray creamer everywhere every time you open it. This is not an efficient top for creamer, I'll tell you what. Not an efficient top for creamer. No, no, no. Oh, no worries, Roxy. No worries. Take all the phone calls you need. Becca used to joke that people only call during book club. I think that hasn't been the case in a little while. Morning, Amanda. I know. Are we grumbly or what? Are you grumbly or what? Yeah. Yeah, eat it. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Are you telling me you want to switch sides? Is that what you're trying to say? Okay, let's go over here and switch sides. Yes. We'll switch sides. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yes, yes, yes. That's okay. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, is that better? Okay. Hey everybody. We are making the coffee. You just can't decide what you want, huh? You just can't decide. You just can't decide, huh? You can't decide if you want it? Are you hungry or what? Yeah? Freezing morning for all of you all. I know, I saw that there were Disney Princess Bath and Body Works things. How crazy is that? I never thought I would see that day. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, you're very awake, huh? You're very awake this morning, huh? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You got so much snow yesterday. I know, I saw some pictures from my friends who live in Canada, and you found Baby Wicked outfits. Aww. The issue that we have right now is that she doesn't fit in a whole lot. We're still trying to get her to fit in stuff. Hopefully soon she'll fit in more things. Right now we don't fit in a whole lot of things, huh? We only fit in preemie clothes right now, huh? Yeah. I know. Oh, did I offend you? Did I offend you? Why are we so grumbly, huh? Why are we so grumbly, huh? I did have the baby, -16. Oh my gosh, you guys. Yeah, she fits. Okay, okay. Okay, come here. You want out? Do you want out? You want out? Yeah, okay. Okay, mommy's sorry. Yeah, you can be out for a second. It's funny because like some days she fits in like, so she fits in some of the preemie clothes and then other ones she's already grown out of lengthwise, but only lengthwise, but like she doesn't fit really well in newborn clothes yet. But hopefully soon she will fit in newborn clothes because that's mostly what we have for her. We didn't have a lot of preemie stuff. Becca gave us some preemie stuff from her triplets, of course, because they were little, but you know how it goes. Are you feeling better now that you're out of the sling? Yeah, okay. Yeah. You have the hiccups? Yeah. Yeah, we have hiccups. We have hiccups. She is a secret baby, yeah. 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 We just keep her face off of things. You can see, bless you, obviously the back of her head and her little handsies and everything. Yeah. Just so she can make that decision for herself when she's older, you know. Right, sweetheart? Yeah? Yeah? Do you want to lay down your bassinet for a second while Mommy gets her coffee? Is that what you would like to do? Would you like to do that? Would you like to lay down for a second? Okay. All right, I'm retying myself while we have her. She's very calm. She loves laying in her bassinet. So I laid her down for 2 seconds because it's visible from where we are, and we'll be able to set the tripod and stuff up. And then I will pick her back up. Yes, you can call her Secret Baby or Gracelyn or Jasmine. We have so many nicknames that we all use for her just for funsies. I think Gracelyn's the funniest of them, but that's just because it comes with an inside joke, you know? Sometimes I almost just want to tell people that her name is Gracelyn when they ask on here just for the humor of it, but then I'm afraid people will actually believe me. And then they'll be like, I thought you said you weren't giving out her name. And I'd be like, you're right. Okay. Yeah? Are you a happy girl? Mommy's gonna come get you right now. Mommy's just setting up this. Hi. Hi. Well, isn't that nice? You got to lay in your bassinet. You love it so much, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we did get gummy bears. Isn't that funny? I jokingly told my mom that if she wanted to get me a TV, she wanted to get me a TV5. Wait. She bought you a new TV? I know. People ask, they're like, did you have? They see this little head and they're like, did you have the baby? And it's like, what? What do you mean? Did I have the baby? What do you think this is? This little thing? This little thing right here? You're the baby. I had the baby on the 25th of January. See, that's a legitimate question from Valerie. That's a real question. I know she is so strong. It's so funny. See, Valerie asked, when did you have the baby? That's a good question. Some people ask, did you have the baby? And that's a weird question when you can see her. But when is a good question, huh? Yeah. When is a good question? I just grew a tiny head out of my shoulder. Yeah, tiny head. Tiny head grew out of my shoulder. There you go. You want to get in your little slingy? Yeah. There you go. You're in. You're in. I know. She's such a little noisy baby. TikTok does think I'm a robot. They might think she's a doll. You're right. You're right, Sloth. Oh, look at you holding up your head. Look at you, so strong, girl. Look at you, strong girl. That was very strong of you. Look at you go. Wow. Wow, strong girl. I know, right? It's like, you can... Okay, see you later, Valerie. Look at you picking your head up. Wow. She's a very, very realistic reborn baby. Yes, that's right. That's right. Wow. You're so strong. Yes, you are. Who's the strongest girl in the world? Who is it? Is it you? Is it Mommy's angel? I think so. Yeah. Yeah, you are. Do you want to settle down for book club or do you want to go hang out with Dada? Your eyes are wide open. You are wide awake right now. What are you looking at? The plant? It is a very nice plant. She's very awake today. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. That's so sweet of you to say. She did want to wave. Do you want to wave? Say hi. Say hi. What are you looking at? Is it the big monstera? Remember we introduced you to that plant. That's our biggest plant. It's Mommy and Daddy's favorite plant. We don't play favorites with babies, but we do play favorites with plants. Well, I do play favorites with babies. You're my favorite baby. You're my favorite baby in the whole wide world. Yes. Yes? Hi. Good morning. Good morning. You're so awake right now. It's unusual for you to be awake at this time. Is this a whole new week for you? You said, I'm 3 weeks old now. I'm awake at this hour. I'm new. It's new for me. The contrast with the... Wait, I missed the first part of that, Amanda. What do you mean? I was watching your live 4 years ago and you talked about... Aw, thank you, Bambi. That's so sweet. Okay, grumble pants. What are we grumbling about? What are we grumbling about? What is the grumble for? What is the grumble for? Just because you want to play. You want to play. You want to be in your bassinet. Do you? Yeah. Yeah. You can. It's right here. Yeah. Okay. I'll put you in it. You can be in it. You can be in it. There you go. There you go. Do you want to be in it or do you want to be with Mommy? I wish you guys could see. She's laying in the bassinet. Oh, she's studying the art. Yes. Well, I don't know if she can see that far because camp babies only see not very far right now. She just ate, Roxy, so I don't know if she's hungry, but she can see the plant because it's so close. But I don't know if they can see that far. I don't think newborns can they? I don't think they can. I thought they could only see like 8 inches or something. But you can definitely see when she's sitting over my shoulder, the plant is right here. It's pretty close. 2 feet now. Oh, the contrasting colors. Yes, she can see the colors. That's true. Yes, 100% correct, Amanda. That is right. They can see the differences in the colors. She is just having a grand old time. She is in her bassinet just looking around, fascinated by everything. Are you fascinated by everything? Yeah, hi. Hi. Wow, what a morning for you. Okay. She just wants to sit with us. I mean, I can reach her. Like, I can touch the bassinet from where I'm sitting, so it's not like she's far. But let's just let her do it, right? Whatever, if that's where she wants to sit. Do you want to join book club as a member? Yeah. Okay, she's content. Wow. It did look like that. Sometimes she does that even when she's not hungry, though. It's very interesting because, like, I offered it to her while I was making coffee. I offered her a little bit of breakfast of her own, and she turned it away. So, yeah. She has better eyesight than you already. That's funny, Jen. We have the hiccups. We have the hiccups. Yeah. We do, huh? Yeah. Sometimes when she has the hiccups, she does like to just lay down. It's very interesting. I don't know if it's because she knows how to get rid of them herself when she lays down, but we originally started trying like burping her when she has the hiccups. I feed her sometimes when she has the hiccups to get rid of them, but we figured out that she likes to lay down when she has them. It makes her feel better. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Yeah. Okay. So we were at the end of a chapter, and we were at a scene break yesterday, or not yesterday. We have not, for a couple of different reasons. Secret Husband read a lot of horror stories about Grapewater, and we spoke to the pediatrician to ask if we needed to do anything for the hiccups, and they said no. They said they're not caused by any kind of issue. It's just her body learning how to do all of its things, and so not to do any, because like she doesn't have any tummy issues, and Grapewater is a lot for that. So they said basically just let her have them. You know, it's not temperamental. Yeah, it's good for their lungs. That's exactly what the pediatrician said, Amanda. They said if it had been a tummy issue, if she was spitting up, if she was crying after eating, like if it like hurt her tummy at all, then yes, we would do those things. But since it's just the hiccups, they said it's just her body learning, because she was a little bit new, like a little younger when she was born. Which is such a funny thing to say, right? Younger when we weren't, you need it because of the spit up. Yes, that is correct. But she doesn't spit up. I know I've said this and everyone's like, don't jinx yourself, but she really doesn't. So knock on wood, she doesn't have any allergies. Secret Husband likes to say it's her strong Irish stomach that she inherited from him. So anyway, we were at a scene break when we ended on Saturday, and she was very fussy on Saturday. So I said, let's just break with the scene, and then we would read another thing. Colic is so tough. It is. My sister had colic, Tiffany, when she was a baby, and it was rough. Hiccups, not so much a problem. It's funny, almost, actually, rather than being a problem. I feel bad laughing about it, but it is kind of funny, right? Your youngest threw up constantly. My sister did too, Roxy. I mean, like, nonstop. Yeah, definitely. So far, no tummy issues, knock on wood. Yeah. Is that right? You have a good Irish tummy. That's what your dada says. He says you got his Irish tummy and you can eat anything. We'll see about that. So far you only eat Milkies, huh? Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. No, you did not miss a day. You are all good. So we're at that halfway in this chapter point. So let's go ahead and read the half chapter, and then we'll read a new chapter. In case anyone missed the other one, Agnes is currently in process of giving birth. When we ended on Saturday, Agnes had not yet given birth to her baby. Yeah, that's common for a lot of babies, isn't it, Roxy, that they couldn't process some of the proteins in the milk? I've heard that a lot. Luckily, right now, we've been okay. But my sister definitely had that issue when she was a baby, big time. Agnes speaks the words until they aren't words anymore, until they become clasped hands and bound threads, a circle woven from sister to sister to sister, until the rules of the world bend beneath the weight of their will. Agnes feels the will thrumming beneath her breastbone as a rush of desire. She wants to live. She wants to stand shoulder to shoulder with her sisters and shout a new story into the dark. She wants to look into her daughter's eyes and see Juniper's wildness and Bella's wisdom, the wheel of stars and snap of flames and everything she is, and the will shining back at her. Agnes is aware that she's crying and that the tears are hissing against her skin. She's aware that the pain is an animal that slips its leash, biting and thrashing deep inside her, and that it carries her daughter closer. That's what they are doing, binding 3 lives together, holding a woman to life even as her will pulses and stutters and jolts. It's an impossible, reckless thing that only her dumb shit sister would even think of, but they're doing it anyway because she doesn't want to die, and they refuse to let her. That power fills her, scorching her veins and blackening her bones, and it's outside of her too, watching her, weighing her. And yet this not mother who will not die, who will not break the laws of the universe rather than leave her daughter alone. Somewhere in the blackness beyond her closed eyes, a hawk cries. Then the silent rush of wings as the weightless bite of talons. Agnes opens her eyes to see the savage hook of a beak, the onyx shine of feathers, and an eye like a comet caught and polished. In the brief lull before the pain and the power surges again, it occurs to Agnes that Juniper will be insufferable and inconsolably jealous. The pain crests, the hawk calls again, a wild shriek, and a final push, and Juniper is whooping, and Bella is sobbing. Oh, she's beautiful, Ag, she's absolutely perfect. And someone, some new person who hasn't existed a moment before, is wailing. Oh, baby girl. Time skips forward again, and Agnes is lying back against a soft mound of pillows with a precious burning thing clutched against her chest. She stares down into a small, furrowed face, faintly impervious, like a tiny deity who hasn't seen much of the world yet, but is already unimpressed with it. Her fists are curled, 2 little pink things, and her eyes open and staring solemnly back at Agnes, as if the 2 of them were instructed to memorize one another's faces. Are a nameless color. They're somewhere between midnight and ash. Her eyes. Is she steaming? Juniper sounds mildly concerned, as if all babies steam for the first few days. Bella's fussing with boiled water and clean linens, scrubbing away the streaks of red and gummy white. She's just fine, I'm sure. It's just the effect of all the witching. The baby's head is still glossy and wet, but already Agnes can see her hair is an unlikely shade of ruby red, like the deepest heart of bonfire or the burning eye of a familiar. Agnes glances sideways at the bird now perched on the rail. A river hawk, she thinks, all sharp angles and vicious curves and black char. It looks down at the baby in her arms with the same fierce tenderness that Agnes feels, a love that has teeth and talons. Agnes presses her lips to her daughter's fiery hair, and she feels life cleaving, splitting cleanly into 2 pieces, the time before and the time after. The mattress shifts beside her. What are you gonna name her? Juniper's voice is reverent. Her hand hovers above the baby's head, not touching her, as if she isn't sure if she ought to be near anything that fragile and precious. Agnes has thought of many names. Calliope for her mother, or Magdalena for her mother's mother, Ivy for power, or Rose for beauty, but now a different name unfurls on her lips, snapping like a banner on the battlefield, and she says, Eve. A sinful name, a shocking name, a name that broke the first world and walked into a new one, unbound and unbowed. Juniper laughs a low rasp. Yeah, and what about a mother's name? Agnes wants something deep-rooted, determined, something that grows in overturned earth and tumbled rocks, and she thinks of the tough, silvery weed that always threatened to overtake Mama Mags's garden. Cudweed, she called it, or everlasting. Yeah, Eve Everlasting. Juniper dares to cup her palm around her niece's ruby head to whisper, Eve Everlasting. Give 'em hell, baby girl. As she will, Agnes promises, and she finds her fingers clutching the swaddled sheets. And so will I swear. I'm sorry to both of you for running away for hiding. I thought... She thought it was safer to creep and cower, to be no one rather than someone, like her mother taught her. I will not be a mother like ours was. And Bella settles on the other side. Neither was she, once. You were 5 when she died, but I was 7. Agnes has always envied Bella those 2 extra years she had. I remember the way that she used to be. I think that she thought if she made herself small enough and quiet enough, she would be safe. She was wrong, Bella thinks, but she doesn't need to say it. Agnes swallows the salt in her throat and leans very carefully against her sister. A silence blooms between them, the gentle calm following a storm, and Agnes is several steps past exhaustion, but she can't seem to close her eyes. She's mesmerized by the ammonite curl of her daughter's left ear and the delicate fall of red lashes against the soft shape of her face. She's studying the soft line of her cheek, wondering if she sees a hint of her sister's square jaw when the hawk mantles beside her. Its wings snap wide as if to defend itself against someone invisible, some attack. The owl on Bella's shoulder does the same, eyes wide and round. Goodness! Bella flinches from the slap of the feathers, trying to stroke a calm finger down its breast. But it launches itself upward, and the hawk joins it, circling near the ceiling on a midnight wing. The pattern they draw is like a warning, like a vulture spiraling above something dying. A growling light gleams dull and amber on their feathers, and the rising sun or the distant electric glow of the fair. Agnes is looking up at them, clutching her daughter when there's a loud bang against the ward door. Agnes, are you in there? More banging, a desperate fist. Hyssop, for Christ's sake, hyssop! Bella looks at Agnes, and Agnes nods. She unlocks the door, and Mr. August Lee falls through it. His hair is tangled and dark with rain. His eyes are wild. There's a gray smear across one cheek, and a smell rising from his clothes, trailing like a shadow behind him, acrid and sour and ugly in some way that Agnes doesn't understand. Is she alive? Is the baby? August's eyes rove between the 3 of them, fastening onto Agnes and the tight-wrapped bundle held against her breast. The relief washes over his face like daybreak. Juniper says sullenly, "They're just fine, thank you very much." But August doesn't seem to hear her. He moves to Agnes's bedside and kneels, still looking at her with that stripped bare delight. And Agnes turns her hand, palm up on the sheet, and he presses his forehead against it. "I'm sorry," he says into the mattress. "I got your message, but then you weren't there. And I looked, and finally someone told me you'd been taken, and I didn't know where you'd been taken. It's all right." She strokes her thumb across his brow, because she can, because she likes the weight of his head in her hand and the bent line of his neck. "I had my sisters." The blinding thrum between them, the cat's purr, and then it occurs to Agnes that she was dead wrong. She thought that survival was a selfish thing, a circle drawn tight around your heart. She thought the more people you let inside your circle, the more ways the world had to hurt you, the more ways that you could fail them and be failed in turn. But what if it's the opposite, and the more people that are there to catch you when you fall? What if it's an invisible tipping point somewhere along the way when 1 becomes 3, becomes infinite, when there are so many of you that the circle that you had becomes a hydra-headed and invincible. August is silent. Bless you. His head is still pressed to her hand, as if he wants the world to feel the heat of her pulse. "Well," Juniper clears her throat, "not to interrupt, but it's time we get gone before somebody notices that this whole hospital is asleep or follows this fool over here." But she sounds less sullen, even faintly approving, as if she rather likes the sight of a man on his knees. August looks up with his shadow looming in his face. "Well, where are you going? Is that the tower?" Juniper shrugs at him, already turning to draw a circle on the white-tiled wall. The birds still circle above her like some grave portent. "You can't go back there." "Excuse me?" Juniper wheels, her chin thrust forward. "And why the hell not?" But Agnes already knows why, because Agnes has finally recognized the smell rising from August's clothes. Wild rose and fire. "Because," August answers her, "the tower is burning." Dun dun dun. Whoa, we reached part 3. The baby being born was the end of part 2. This is called Burned and Bound. Dun, dun, dun. Do you want to stay there or do you want to come be with mommy? What do you want, sweet girl? Do you want to be with mommy for the next chapter or do you want to stay in your bassinet? Hi, pretty girl. Hi, good morning. You're so awake. You just looking at stuff? You just looking at stuff? Just looking around at things? Are you just looking around? Are you just looking around? I know. It sounds like it was being burned. That's not good. Have you seen the TikToker that sings Wicked in French? I have. It's fun, right? I wish they did one in Italian because at least that I could understand. I don't speak very good French. I know a little bit of French, but not a lot. But I do know Italian. She's got the hiccups, huh? You got the hiccups? Do you want to see the Monstera? Look, it's right here. Hi. Hi. Hi, Hiccup. Hi, Hiccup. Hi, Hiccups. You want to go back to your bassinet or do you want to hang out with mommy? Hi. 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 You want to go back? Okay, I'll put you back. I'll put you back. Okay, I'll put you back. I'll put you back. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I wish you guys could see it. It's so funny. She like genuinely enjoys being in there and just like looking around. She's just like seeing things for the first time. Do you want to see a book that's for you? Look at this book. We have this book sitting right here. It's about fairies. Do you want to see the pictures? Yeah, look at that. Wow. Wow, so pretty fairies. Oh, now we want up? You didn't like the fairies? You didn't like the fall fairy gathering? No? No, you didn't like it? You didn't like the fall fairy gathering? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the fall fairy gathering. Mommy's sorry. Here you go. Are you hungry? Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll eat a little. We'll eat a little. Yeah. We'll make the eating off camera and we'll eat. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. You can eat off camera. That's right. There you go. Now that your hiccups are gone, you want to eat. That's good. Yes, we love a woman who knows what she wants. It is good that she enjoys it. Okay, you eat and we'll read the next chapter, okay? We're going to read chapter 27. How does that sound to you? Does that sound like a good plan? Yes? You want to eat while we read chapter 27? Do you want to do that? Huh? Yeah? Okay. Chapter 27. Wade in the water with me, my daughter, all dressed in red. Wade in the water and dress in white instead. A song to stop bleeding after a hard birth, requiring a twice blessed water and a serpent bearer. Well, dang, I wish someone had told me about that. I would have liked a spell to stop bleeding after birth. That would have been fantastic. Sorry, that was really silly of me. But truly, if someone would have told me that that was an option, that would have been great. James Juniper looks at the man kneeling. Oops. Stay here. Okay. James Juniper looks at the man kneeling beside her sister, at the gray smear on his cheekbone and the angle of his shoulders, and tells him very gently, bullshit. No, it isn't. It is. Avalon would have to be somewhere in order for anybody to burn it, and I happen to know it's nowhere. It isn't, he says, it's standing in the middle of St. George Square, and it's burning. Look out the window. You can see it from here. Juniper doesn't want to look out the window. She doesn't want to know the glowing red on the underbellies of the clouds isn't coming from the rising sun. Listen, we bound that tower and we buried the binding, and the warded place we buried it. So excuse me if I don't exactly... June. It's Agnes now. Her voice is tired and cracked, low-pitched so as not to wake the baby. Juniper snoots August a now look what you did kind of look. It's all right, Ag. I'm sure Mr. Lee is mistaken about the tower. June, There's a sorriness in her voice that makes Juniper want to shout or stuff her fingers in her ears, anything so that she doesn't hear what she's going to say next. There were men on the graveyard. You can see her toes. There's toes. Toes. Yes. There were men at the graveyard. The tree was uprooted. I think they must have found the binding. Juniper doesn't say anything. She stares at her sister and then at August, who's climbing warily to his feet. It's madness out there. I ran past people carrying torches, shouting at burning of witches on their nest at last, and they said that the Black Tower had come back, and they said that Gideon Hill was going to be the one to burn it. Bullshit, Juniper says again, but the word wobbles in her mouth, and Agnes is looking up with her slick shine of tears in her eyes, and Bella has both hands pressed against her mouth. Juniper looks away from them. Anywhere else, her eye catches on the bloody circle now dried and crusted on the bed sheet beside her sister. The trick to doing something stupid is to do it very quickly, before anyone can shout, "Wait!" at you. Juniper presses her palm to the circle and speaks the word, and then she's pulled sideways into the blackness. Oh! I didn't see that coming. Juniper hasn't yet been to hell, although according to her daddy, the preacher, and Miss Hurston, the New Salem Police Department, it's only a matter of time, but she figures when she gets there, it'll look a lot like St. George Square does now. Fire and ash and ruination. The door beneath her hand is burning blue flames, licking across charred wood, eating the inscription and sign both. She reels back, curling her hand to her chest, and stares up at the tower that was her hope and was her home. She reels back, curling her hands to her chest. Oh, I just said that, sorry. Fire leaps from every window, fattened by the pages of 10,000 books and scrolls, all the words and ways of witches preserved for so many centuries. Guys, this is bad. The whole library is going to be on fire. Okay. Ivy and rose vines wither and blacken, peeling away from the stone in long twists of ash. The tree wears hungrily red crowns like doomed queens, and birds caw and flap in frenzied circles. Beneath the hungry roar of the flames, Juniper thinks she hears a keening sound, low and distant, like women's voices maybe joined together in some sad lamentation. Or maybe the sound comes from her own heart as she watches the last hope of witches rising into the sky on wings of ash and cinder. I know, I'm sad too, sweetheart. Through the white haze of smoke and the hiss of rain, Juniper sees people ringing in the square. Men and women stand with lit torches and raised fists. Do you want to go back in your bassinet? Is that what you're trying to tell Mommy? Maybe? Maybe? Okay, let's try. Okay, let's try. Yeah? Okay, 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 okay. No, that's not what you want? Or is it? Oh yeah? You're happier there? Are you happier there? No. 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 No, my sweet girl. No, no, no. You want the other side. You want the other side. Yeah? Here you go. Yeah? Here you go. Sweetheart, it's right here. Here you go. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I know, it hurts my heart too, Jen. Every time I see it, like anytime there's a book burning or a library burning in any book or movie, I panic. Here, it's right here. It's right here. Yeah. It's right here. You can eat right now. Yeah. Yeah. Through the white haze of smoke and the hiss of rain, Juniper sees people rising in the square. Men and women stand with lit torches and raised fists, Hill's symbol brought to hideous life. She can't tell through the waver of heat and light if their shadows are indeed their own. She isn't sure she even cares. Behind these men and their torches, his eyes are dancing with merry flames, his pale skin flushed, and there he stands, Gideon Hill. A willowy blonde woman is clutching his arm, looking up at him with such empty devotion that it makes Juniper shudder. Honestly, same. Never undying devotion to a creepy dude. Never. Hill's mouth is moving. He's issuing proclamations, or maybe commands, or spells. The crowd is too mesmerized by their violent delights to wonder why the flames are burning so unnaturally hot. Heedless of the rain, or to notice the woman who now stands at the base of the tower, her hair fire-whipped and her tears hissing to steam before they leave her eyes. Only Hill sees her. His nostrils flare like a hound, catching the long-sought scent, and his eyes lift above the heads of his vicious frothing flock. Juniper feels like they're hooked into her skin. "You were cleverer than I thought, little witch." Hill is separated from her by 50 men and a roaring blaze, but his voice is able to whisper in her ear, "But never clever enough." The sound of his voice drags her back down into the deeps, and it sends her shadow fingers prying between her teeth. She spits, and she sizzles where it strikes. She sees the white glimmer of Hill's smile through the haze. At his side is Grace Wiggins, and she frowns very faintly, as if she senses his attention wandering. His laugh shivers in the air beside her. It's a relieved sound, almost giddy, and Juniper remembers the terrible fear that worked in his eyes. "I knew when you escaped that you must have found it somehow, dragged it back from wherever those hags took it. You hid it well, but anything lost can be found, can it not?" Juniper thinks of the wards that they set up so carefully around the witch yard, salt and thistle. She pictures them and the shadowed hands plucking and pulling at them until they unravel. "You've given me something that I wanted above all others, James Juniper." And the voice is passionless but sincere, and Juniper is struck by the certainty that he is telling the truth. "I'm very grateful for you." His laugh echoes through the square, and she wants to charge through the crowd and wrap her hands around his throat and curse his eyeless and earless and tonguelessness. Except there's a dark shimmer at her feet, shadows, manly arms, languorous as well-fed snakes, oozing across the scorched earth towards her. She whirls and presses her burned hand back to the hot ashes of the door, and she speaks the words a second time. She's on her knees now, and the stinking silence of the hospital ward with its hot tears are tracking through the char on her cheeks. Agnes knows from the broken slope of Juniper's shoulders and the reek of ashes and roses that she brings with her that August was indeed telling the truth. A wail rises, and Bella's keening as if her own flesh and blood is burning along with the library. Her hands scrabble for the dark circles on the sheets. Juniper catches her tight around the waist. "It's too late. It's gone, Belle. He's won." "Oh, I know. It's so sad. It's so sad. I know, it's sad that they burned the tower. We're all crying too." Her voice is even rougher than before, twice burned by fire. Bella sags against her younger sister, weeping, and Juniper shushes her. August looks at the floor, a stranger intruding on their mourning. They stay like that, suspended in grief, gnats in amber. Agnes knows with cold clarity that soon someone will wake from their spell and rise the alarm. Rioters and officers will turn up looking for witches to burn, and they'll find 3 sisters and a little witch girl with hair the color of heart's blood. "You want to go hang out with your dada?" "Oh, okay. I'm going to go take her to her dada to hang out for the rest of book club." "Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You want to hang out with dada?" "Yeah." They'll have playtime. I know, she makes the cutest noises ever. She's afraid they'll rip her from Agnes's arms. She looks down at her daughter, her hair drying in bright swirls of red and her cheeks round and slack in sleep, and she thinks, yeah, let the bastards try to take her. We have to go, she says very calmly, and none of them move. Mired in the selfishness of grief, Agnes raises her voice. We have to go right now, before they come for us and before they come for Eve. At Eve's name, Juniper looks up, blinking scorched eyes. Where? They'll be watching the train station and the trolley lines, and I bet the streets are crawling. We might make it to Salem Sin. Maybe. Bella cuts her off, sounding surprisingly firm, despite the snot and tears. We can go to Cleo's in New Cairo. People are scared of the South Side these days, and they have means to hide us there. Agnes suspects it isn't merely logic that drives Bella. Bella frowns at the clouds out the window and adds insanely, it's a full moon, too. Juniper shakes her head. We'll be moving slow and they'll be looking for 3 women and a baby. It's too far to go to New Cairo. Bella might have argued, but Agnes turns to August and simply says, help us, please. She knows from the warm twist of his smile that he hears it not as a command, but as an act of blind trust, the sort of thing that one comrade might ask of another as they stand back to back, surrounded. His eyes catch hers and hold steady. It's far. He glances at the push broom propped against the wall, slightly splintered from Juniper's misuse of it. Unless you can... Juniper laughs. It's a bit cracked. No. Well, I could get my boys to help. He trails off, worry creasing his face. But it'll be rough going. Are you sure you ought to move her so soon after... His eyes flicker nervously to the bloodied sheets at the corner. Agnes's voice goes very dry. I'll manage, Mr. Lee. Are you sure? I've always heard that a woman shouldn't. A hawk's scream silences him. Agnes strokes the wing of her familiar. Do you doubt me? Truly? Mr. Lee rocks back like a man in a gust of fierce wind. He looks at her, at the black river hawk perched at her side and the red-haired baby clutched to her bare breast and the scorching heat of her eyes, and he nods so deeply that it's nearly a bow. No, never again, he breathes. He turns to leave and calls over his shoulder, meet me behind the hospital in half an hour. Bella has seen the undertaker's carriage before, the black painted wagons with St. Charity's Hospital written in stark white capitals on the side, but she always imagined it would be several long decades before she rode in one herself. She also imagined that she would be alone and dead, rather than pressed beside her sisters on the floorboards, very much alive, and praying that the baby won't cry as they clatter and jounce across the city. Okay, that's actually, excuse me, this is actually genius on August's part. He's putting them in a hearse to get them out of the hospital without being noticed. That's pretty good. It's pretty smart. I accept his choice. Mr. Lee met them behind the hospital with several of his friends, scruffy, disreputable fellows who seemed very well versed in mayhem, a cheap black suit, and a matched pair of cart horses that were persuaded to pull the carriage despite the smell of rot and arsenic. Mr. Lee helped them one after another into the coach. His hand lingered around Agnes's mouth half open, but the driver, hey Ad, and August vanished into the gloom. And now the city passes in ghoulish flashes through the high windows. The flare of a lit torch in bare hand shouted curses and prayers and stamp of feet marching in unnatural synchronicity. The sour smell of wet smoke clings to her skin like grease, burying even the corpse stink of the carriage. A drift flake of ashes filters through the windows and settles as soft snow on Bella's cheek. She wonders what mystery or magic it once held, but now it's all lost to the flames. Her tears slide silently to her temples and trickle through her hair. I'm sad too, Bella. I'm sad too. The carriage rattles over the trolley tracks, missing cobbles and streets roughened beneath them. The noise shifts from angry shouts to worried voices pitched low. The clop of hooves falls quiet and the carriage sways to stop. Knuckles tap twice on the roof, and 3 Eastwoods, 4, Bella supposes now, catching the delight and delicate curve of her niece's cheek in the moonlight, they stumble out into the night. They're on the street, she doesn't know how, standing They're on a street she doesn't know. Now standing in the shadowed dark between two gas lamps, bodies move in the darkness around them, hurrying steps and hushed voices. Bella hears the snick of locks and turning latches, and even the muffled thump of hammers and nails shutting closed shutters over windows as New Cairo battens itself down like a ship before a coming storm. The driver tips his cap to them, addressing Agnes more than either of the others, and Mr. Lee begs you to send word to the working men, Mrs. Eastwood, once you're settled. He assures me that you have your methods how to send messages. Agnes sweeps her stained cloak around herself and nods regally. Thank you, sir. She falters, suddenly more woman than witch. And will you thank him for me? Tell him. But she doesn't seem to know what she even wants to tell him. The driver grants her another grave tip of his hat. I will, miss. And then far less formally, trust August to fall for the most wanted woman in New Salem. Oh, no slime today, sorry. But I did post 2 slime-related videos in the last couple of days. He flicks the reins, and Juniper's affronted mutter says, I thought I was the most wanted woman in New Salem. But it's lost among the muffled clops of hooves. Juniper, let it go. Bella is blinking up at the stars, squinting through smudged spectacles at the distant street signs. No, come this way. Bella walks south, and her sisters follow, a half step behind her, scuttling like field mice beneath the moon. No one sits on the stoop or plays cards on the street corners today. The bar rooms are dark and vacant. The only people they pass are clusters of men carrying cudgels and hammers and long-cloaked women with hard, fearless expressions that make Bella think they're the reason the police don't like to patrol Cairo after sundown. She turns twice and doubles back once before she finds Nut Street. The night market isn't what she remembers it. The stalls and rugs are being rolled away, and wares are being packed hastily into canvas sacks and crates, and dark cloaks are pulled over colorful skirts. Eyes turn and catch on Bella and her sisters. 3 white women and 2 black birds and 1 red-haired baby walking through this area. But Bella ignores the looks. She finds Amarantina's shop and staggers through the door, weak-kneed and reeling. Amarantina herself, Quinn's mother, Bella thinks in a small internal wail, sits behind the counter. Now what's going on? She begins, and then she catches sight of Bella's face, and her eyes flick to Agnes, too pale and shivering in the warm evening. All right, I'll fetch her. 3 of them are standing, swaying slightly until Quinn appears, wearing half-buttoned gentleman's shirt over her nightdress. Bella! She reaches towards Bella as she wants to hold her, but at that moment, Agnes says, oomph, and slumps sideways against the shelf of tiny wooden drawers. And then the shop is full of low voices and reaching hands and the shuffle of feet as they're hurried into the back room. And they make a pallet of pillows and spare quilts, and they settle Agnes against the center, while Armentina sings a spell against fevers and another against blood loss. Feet shuffling, and chalk map of stars is drawn hastily on the floor, and Juniper cradles Eve with a lower lip cradled between her teeth. She's looking awkwardly at the fierce and full unwielding of fresh-hatched love. Amarantina presses her palm into Agnes's forehead as the song ends, and she nods once. Juniper nests beside Agnes, the baby swaddled between them, and Amarantina hauls herself upright, and she picks her way over to Quinn and Bella. They'll keep us for the night, Bella says. She looks at her daughter, and the corner of her mouth twitches. Get some sleep, you two. Quinn ducks her head and heads up a narrow flight of stairs, and Bella watches her go with a silent sinking of her heart. Are we okay? Do we need more foodies?
It's okay.
Do we? Maybe?
You're almost done with Book Club, right?
Yeah, but I can feed her.
You should finish it out.
Okay. Halfway up, Quinn turns, and she meets Bella's eyes and extends her hand, palm up. An invitation, a question, a challenge. Bella hears Juniper's voice. Are you such a coward? But Bella isn't. Quinn's hand is warm and dry, and she leads Bella up the stairs to a room she recognizes. There's the bed, with its saffron quilt gone gray in the gloom. There's a pillow where Bella woke with the memory of warmth beside her. Quinn sits on the foot of the bed and slides a gentleman's shirt from her shoulders. Her arms are beneath it, bare and long, velveteen in the darkness. Her nightdress is a ghostly white, and she looks like she's a living saint. The street lamp is painting a glow halo behind her head. Bella thinks that she should probably leave, but Bella does not want to leave. Quinn smooths the quilt beneath her, a gentle invitation. Bella doesn't move or speak, as if her body is a fractious animal that will betray her given the slightest loosening of the reins. You can leave if you like. Quinn's voice is a careful neutral. There's room beside your sisters. No, thank you, Bella breathes. The white flash of Quinn's teeth in the dark. Her chin tilts a come here kind of flick. And this is an invitation that's less gentle. It's warmer and sweeter and far more dangerous. And Bella makes an inarticulate sound and swallows hard. Is Mr. Quinn... Oh, he does not live at this address, nor has he ever. Bella blinks several times, and Quinn explains gently, the two of us grew up together, and we understood very young that neither of us was interested in the, usual arrangement. He lives in Baltimore with a very nice gentleman friend named, and a spoiled dog named Lord Byron. Oh. Bella has not previously imagined any arrangements other than the usual ones. She feels simultaneously too young and too old and terribly naive, and she looks again at the space beside Quinn, and she sits. It's gone, you know. Bella's voice is hoarse from swallowed smoke, all of it. The horde of magic, of witches, it's all lost in a single night. It would have been safe if we had just left it hidden where the last three put it, but we didn't. I didn't. And now it's gone, and all our hope is gone with it. Bella thinks of all the women who followed them down into this dangerous rabbit hole, all the sisters hoping for ways and words to change bitter stories that they were handed. What have I done? It comes out a thick tear, warbling. What have we done, I think you mean, Quinn says dryly. Who found the spell in Old Salem again? Well, you did, of course. I didn't mean to say... So it's my fault as well? No. And who got herself locked in jail and needed saving in the first place? And who had a baby early and kept you distracted at the worst possible moment? Oh, is it your sister's fault too? Quinn shakes her head. If you want to blame someone for the fire, look at the men holding the matches. Oh, I suppose. Quinn turns sideways on the bed, facing Bella. But let's look at what you have done, Belladonna Eastwood. You called back the lost ways of Avalon. You spread its secrets half across the city. You saved both your sisters' lives, and you stood for something. You lost something, yes, but... Quinn's hands rise to either side of Bella's face to slide her spectacles from her temples. Bella finds it necessary to remind her heart to keep beating and her lungs to keep pumping. You've gained something too, I think. Quinn is close enough now that Bella can feel the heat of her skin and see the black swell of her pupils. Bella wanted very badly to kiss her. The thought arrives without parentheses, a wild rush of wanting that Bella knows better than she should give in to. She'll be punished afterwards and bruised or beaten, locked up until she learns to forget again, except that she doesn't know why this simple arithmetic has never occurred to her. It isn't that Isn't she already being punished in her loneliness? And if it hurts either way, surely she should at least enjoy it for the sin which she suffers. Oh, my sweet baby. Oh, let me get her. Let me just feed her, honey. I can feed her, babe. Let me just feed her. She's so hungry. Silly, silly girl. Oh, I almost lost the puzzle piece game. I almost lost the puzzle piece game. They didn't believe I was human. I'm so human that I'm feeding another human. Yes, that's right. So human that I'm feeding another human. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, honey, why are we so grumpy? Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Yeah, we're so grumpy. We're so grumpy. Yeah. Uh-huh, okay. Okay. We only have a couple more pages. Let's finish them, huh? Yeah. Yeah. The thought arrives without parentheses, a wild rush of wanting. Oh, yeah? Okay. It's in your mouth. It's in your mouth. That Bella knows better than to give in to. She'll be punished afterwards, bruised or beaten or locked up until she learns to forget again. Except she doesn't know why the simple arithmetic has never occurred to her before. Isn't she already being punished in her loneliness? And if it hurts either way, surely she should at least enjoy the sins for which she suffers. Kind of agree. Bella looks down at her own hands, steady as stones. She feels the even beat of her heart that they taught her to be afraid. Somewhere along the way, she lost track of it. She lifts her hands to Quinn's cheeks and cups her palm around the curve of her jaw, and Quinn holds very still, breathing. May I kiss you, Cleo? She doesn't stutter when she says this, and Quinn exhales profanities. Is that a yet? The end of Bella's question is lost, stolen with her breath. It isn't so much a kiss as a What? Honey. A conflagration of need and want long deferred, of lost hope and wild abandon, of two bodies colliding while the world burns around them. Somewhere in the urgent fumble of buttons and clasps and the rushing rhythm of their breast, the touch of starlight on skin, the secret taste of salt, a treacherous thought occurs to Bella, that she would burn Avalon 7 times over as long as it led her to this room, this saffron yellow bed. Ooh, I would not. I would not give up the lost ways of Avalon and the library for this. No. Afterwards, when they lie together like a pair of clasped hands, one is perfectly fitted beside the other and Bella lies awake. She resists the soft tug of sleep for as long as she can, because the sooner she sleeps, the sooner the dawn will arise with all its hard truths. I know. Oh, honey. Hard truth. Yeah. Already, she feels the weight of the world hovering over her. Do you feel the weight of the world hovering over you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're all done. Okay. Here it is. There you go. Yeah. Waiting to settle. Cleo? Okay, woman settle. Yeah, we're done. Cleo, her name tastes like cloves on Bella's tongue. Will you tell me a story? And Cleo does. Okay, we're done. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Okay, bye guys. That's the end of the chapter.